everybody, welcome out to Death Battlecast. I'm driving today because Ben's not here because last minute construction started happening on all the apartments around his. Nick and Liam are fighting for shotgun on who's driving this podcast.
No, I get shotgun. I called it beforehand. So
that's true, but
no,
I told them they could share it. We'll see how this goes. But hey, I'm Chad. I play Boomstick. Up above me, we have writer, director, and researcher, and just wonderful person all around extraordinaire, Liam Swan.
Hello, everybody. How's it going? I don't know what I'm doing with my hands, but you know.
And
when you
I'm
don't
sure
know what to do, you just do hand stuff.
If you guys knew anything about Nick and you saw that we were debating a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles character, Nick sure is here.
I'm here. I am absolutely here. I'm here 3 times, in fact. That's how fast I am. Who's below me?
I was getting to it. See, he's trying to steal the
look at that.
For the first time ever making his Death Battle Cast debut, it is Kian, one of our researchers. Welcome to the show, Kian.
Indeed.
Hello. Thank you very much for having me.
You want to tell the audience a little bit about maybe some of the fights that you've worked on, helping us research?
Oh, hi,
Mother's
Kian.
Name.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Cody's being real nice to you. Normally he's a dick to us.
Yeah. I'm the new boy. Hi guys, my name is Kian. I go by Janger Online. I have been with the show 3 years now, I think. I have worked on episodes like Madara versus Aizen, Yoda versus King Mickey, Deadpool versus the Mask, and perhaps most relevant to this one, Poe versus Iron Fist, and Leonardo versus Jason.
Perfect. Well, you're the perfect person to try and be swayed. Because I believe. Oh, hold on, wait. Liam, are you arguing, or are you arguing?
I'm not
for
arguing.
Shifu?
I'm not doing. I don't know anything about.
Man, in the hot seat right out the gate on his first
yeah.
episode ever. Yeah, so we will be debating Shifu from Kung Fu Panda versus Master Splinter.
Chad, what's
Teenage Mutant Ninja
going on in your background? That's what the.
You just had to call it out, didn't you? The light won't listen to me. It won't obey, and it's just throwing its own rave. So
and you were too lazy to get up and unplug it, I believe.
I was told by Cody, who's driving today, who is also a lighting master. That's literally his job. So you can back right off. No, he's giving me the lower third. Cody, you told me to. Anyway, enjoy the party. We're gonna have a fun episode today.
I like when Cody's the podcast god. It's a good time.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he messes with. Brian's a lot more professional, right?
yes.
Cody has fun with it.
Okay, all right.
As always. All right, cool. Well, with Brian is not dead.
For 7 years.
I would like to clarify, in audio listeners, if you don't know what we're talking about, our TD Cody keeps bringing up lower thirds that say things. So very audio friendly, Cody. Way to go. All right, let's get right into it. I'm gonna be nice, Kian. This is your first time on the show, and your first time you're just taking on a debate. I'm gonna make Nick go first, so you get an extra moment, to see how it's done.
Thank you.
He's a researcher.
Nick's ready. He's cracking his neck. Speaking of backgrounds, mine's throwing a rave, and Nick's throwing a trash party. Nick just moved.
Trash party. Yeah, I just moved like a month ago, and I've been unpacking at my own pace.
God, there's so much garbage. Pigsty.
Shut up.
All right, Nick, Splinter, why should he win? Oh, by the way, also, guys, it is your job to help us determine a winner.
Yes.
Thank you guys. If anybody who's chatting right now in our live stream, we are live Tuesdays, 3 p.m. Central. Thank you to all of our champions. That's what we call our members. So if you guys are watching live and you want to contribute and chat, we love to call it out. I see a bunch of people saying hi. You can sign up for a membership, and that's one way to support us, and we appreciate it. And then later you will be voting in the poll to help us determine which one of these fine folks is correct. They will have to convince me. They will have to convince Liam and you guys watching.
I don't have to,
there you go.
Convince anybody this time.
We good. All right, we're done with all the stuff we need to do. Splinter time, go.
It is Splinter time. All right, so what do you need to know about Splinter? You need to know that he is a master of martial arts. Not just a master, he's the master. He's been at this since '87, if you don't include the original comics, but he's been kicking butt ever since in animated form, in live action form, video game form, you name it. Splinter is incredibly strong, ridiculously skilled, and as time has gone on, he's only gained more and more powers and abilities. And I really don't think Shifu stands a chance because Splinter is going to make a funny out of him.
Oh,
90s reference.
This is the second time you've only used half your time.
It's the second
make
time
a
I've
funny
not
out of
needed
him.
the second half.
References that too.
It's the second time I've not really been thinking about time. I've just been stopping myself short before I go on to a rambling tirade. I'll make my case later, Kian. It's your turn.
I'm very, very curious to hear, especially
Ballsy.
about the comic stuff, because I obviously was an 80s, 90s kid, so I know like everything from the movies and the TV show, which is batshit. But I'm really curious about some of the comic feats that Splinter has.
Yeah.
But
I learned some things today.
20
learned
minutes
some things.
before the start of this
Well,
podcast, I learned many a thing.
there you go. Well, you are going up against Kian, who researched Kung Fu Panda once already. So let's, Kian,
yeah.
your turn. Let's see what you got.
Alrighty, so Shifu. We all know him. We all love him. Well, I assume most of us do. He's been trained since Uruguay since he was a child, and based off the time we saw him spend with Tai Lung and Tigers, he should be around 60 years old. That's already going to put him way ahead of a rat. Those things only live for like a year or two. Like Splinter's got nothing. His training is also a lot more strength-based. We've seen him smash massive slabs of rock in Secret of the Scrolls in a single punch, and at the start of the Tai Lung fight in the very first movie. Speaking of which, he's not trained 4, but 7 of the greatest kung fu masters in all of China. He was even dubbed the greatest kung fu teacher in the country by Po in the first movie. Let's see. And finally, while both their series are definitely ridiculous and over the top, Kung Fu Panda deals a lot more into cartoony things than Ninja Turtles, so Shifu's got the advantage there. Also, Wushi Finger Hold, instant win. Come on, give it to me. Come on.
Okay. I knew the finger hold was going to get brought up, but
Yeah.
are you about to say that Kung Fu Panda is more cartoonish? All right,
That
That's
was
a-
kind of
that's a
my,
challenging
my
statement.
sticking point there.
Let me tell you.
My sticking point.
Okay.
let me tell you, I'm going to do this part of your job for you, Nick, because I will never forget when we were researching. I think it was Shredder, and remember how
Yep.
much ridiculous stuff that we found in
I
that
was
cartoon.
cracking up to myself about the part when Shredder scooped up some lava in his bare
He
hand
just-
and just looked at it.
It's just like that.
Like,
But at one point,
that's just the kind of 80s cartoon logic that Splinter made his animated debut in. He's done even more stuff
Okay.
since then.
Okay.
so here's-
I will give you guys 1 point in your favor. Is that I'm a 2000s kid. 4 kids, and 2012 was more what I grew up on. So you got, I will admit, 80s stuff not quite my territory.
Okay.
So
Okay.
Let me
Feel
set
free
a
to
bar
educate
for
me.
let me set a bar for you. So the Teenage Mutant Turtles get hit by this like anti-mutagen ray, which for some reason makes them all inflate like balloons and hover to the ceiling.
Someone had a
Splinter
fetish,
walks in and then basically gives them a speech about how he got this magic pearl that will like cure any ailment or whatever if they focus on it and believe in the pearl and look at it. And then they all deflate, shrink, and turn back to normal. And this pearl leaps into the air, spins around glowing like as all this is happening, and then Splinter looks at him and goes, "It was just a normal pearl. It was all in your mind." And I'm like,
Wow.
how
It
the
was-
did he make it
Michael's
levitate
secret
and
stuff
spin
before
around?
The
Space
power of
Jam.
belief.
You know?
Wow.
Yeah. All right, I'll
that
stop
sounds
derailing.
that sounds weird. How?
Okay.
Okay. We were talking Shifu's strength. I think that's how you were emphasizing the difference between their martial arts.
Yeah.
Shifu is a clear superhuman strength feats. Nick, what can Splinter match boulder smashing or rock smashing strength from
Or the
Shifu?
finger hold that
Oh my
what is
god,
it,
yeah.
like rip your soul out or
So Splinter is just generally, he's just very strong. Like there's a reason why he's the Turtles master, not just
Yeah.
for Leo, Donnie, Raph, and Mike, but in other
Venus
versions of the shows. Yeah, Venus and
Jenica.
Jenica's the new female turtle in the IDW comics. They're also bringing Venus back
Jenica?
pretty soon here, and she's like
Is
a
that-
zombie.
is that a
Anyway, that's kind of weird. Yeah, Jenica.
Renaissance
She's a 4-foot soldier turned turtle. Anyway, so Splinter has trained all of them. Not to mention, in some versions of the character, he's also trained up like his own kids, if I'm remembering that correctly. But in terms of strength, I'm going to reference the 2012 cartoon as often as I can because that show is freaking
It's so good.
awesome.
Yeah.
It's
It's
so
really
good.
Yeah, for
We
sure.
did an episode.
Yeah,
Largely.
yeah. One of Splinter's best strength feats is when he was fighting Shredder, and I'm going to scale to Shredder multiple times because, especially in that show, they are repeatedly established as being equals until Shredder becomes Super Shredder. Then that kind of throws things out of whack. But either way, there's a point in the show when Splinter is fighting Shredder. Shredder jumps at him, and Splinter goes like this with just 4 fingers,
I
barely
remember that
touches
scene.
him, and he throws just like that. Splinter goes flying. Sorry, Shredder goes flying through the air. There's like, I'm pretty sure I interpreted this as a vapor cone. So like sound speed, right? And he goes through a concrete wall, straight through it, just by going like this.
Okay.
And he did the same kind of thing to Rat King using just one hand, and it was the exact same kind of effect. So throwing somebody at like Mach speed,
the speed of sound.
It's how I interpret it. It may not be that way.
At
It's vague.
he
And a lot
can
of things are
destroy
kind
a
of
concrete
vague, but
wall, 'cause that's
like,
clearly what
yeah,
it is.
you see a shockwave. Yep.
Oh, we've got it.
We have some gifs of this. We
Looks
have
like
to be
he's
careful
just
how we
doing
show it.
finger
Though.
guns.
Yeah, exactly. The finger guns rocket Shredder through a concrete wall, and that's just 2012 Splinter. In Rise of the TMNT, which I'm not as familiar with, that I had to jump into the deep end for this one. This is kind of open up a can of worms here, but he's got this thing called the Hamato Ninpo, which, as I understand it, allows Hamato clan members, such as Splinter, being Hamato Yoshi in this iteration, to draw power from their ancestors to get all kinds of like buffs to agility, speed, strength, durability. They can do some weird soul transfer thing.
He's got Ghost Force, is what you're saying.
Kind of, and that's like astral projection and stuff shows up in other versions of the character as well, like Archie Comics, and also in the 1990 TMNT movie when he did a Skype call with his turtles through a campfire. But he can also, with the Hamato Ninpo, he's got this thing where he can basically just take common objects and using like some weird energy of sorts, turn them into like ninja weapons. So you just take common objects, even if he doesn't have a weapon on him, if he just holds, as I understand it, basically anything, he can just turn it into a weapon. What do you mean?
Like harden it, or like it actually transforms?
Yeah,
like if I was just like, I have this Dr. Pepper can, and then it just like morphs into like a sword or a sai, or is it just like I can hit you with this Dr. Pepper can?
So again, this is where I'm actually going to kind of hope the chat can back me up and give a little more context to this, because
look at this. He's asking for the chat.
Fenton Majora is making a very interesting point here in the chat.
I was going to bring that up
Shifu
too.
flat out wins because he is super short and Splinter can't reach him. That is a hitbox argument. Nick, you are a fighting game fan. What do you say to that?
I say he's got a tail, dude. Have you ever seen a kangaroo donkey kick, man?
No. First of all, Liam, you're wrong.
Pet shop in the JoJo fighting game.
Box thing.
Hurtbox.
Yes.
Yeah, whatever.
And my counter to that is Splinter just needs to do a crouching light kick. Boom.
I mean,
if we're talking his arsenal.
But
if we're talking like
transformation
2012 version of Splinter, he's like really tall, but going into Rise, he's about the same height as Splinter or Shifu.
Who are you arguing for? I'm giving you ammo.
He's arguing for the truth, Liam.
Yeah.
You can't handle the truth.
I mean, hey, I'm totally fine to just lie, but you know.
Look, there are no rules against lying in this show. There are no rules that I.
So we've got smashing a boulder versus like the finger guns throwing somebody through a wall, and then also some sort of mystical energy that allows him to like summon or turn things into weapons. And he was also mentioning astral projection, but I know that's covered a lot in Kung Fu Panda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm curious what that
does
entails.
Shifu scale to Po at all? Because he doesn't have Hero's Chi, right?
He has Chi itself, not specifically Hero's Chi. So he doesn't scale to like some of the really high end stuff.
Okay.
But like he has
it's a case
Wushi
of
Finger
the
Hold
student
same
surpassing
as
the
O's.
master, correct?
Yeah. I mean that's a big
as
thing.
have the turtles have surpassed Splinter. I feel, isn't that?
Yeah.
In some iterations, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
2012.
Talking about this
debatable.
Hamato clan magic, though, that does sound a lot like Chi, which is also used to augment abilities and make you stronger.
Yeah, I wanted to bring that up because I figured that would make them all the more similar to compare.
Yeah.
I suspect Splinter's going to have a speed advantage, though. Not to derail whatever you were about to say.
No.
Well, you keep doing it. Let him talk.
I can actually say, as researcher for Leonardo and Poe, they should actually be pretty even because the speeds we gave them both in their episodes were the exact same feat, which was Leonardo and Poe reacted to attacks that were compared to real lightning. They both have the same speed, so they're pretty much in the same realm. But on the topic of speed, I will argue the paralyzing touch points.
Ooh.
Shifu can hit him like a couple times, and Splinter is paralyzed, can't move. And it's important to note, this entire fight is going to be like hand to hand. I mean, I know that there's weapons, but it's all going to be close quarters. So Splinter's really not going to be able to avoid putting himself in that kind of a precarious situation.
Yeah,
Splinter has a staff, right?
Say that again?
He has a staff. Yeah.
Splinter has a
So
staff,
does Shifu.
right?
He has a staff. Splinter has a
Splinter
staff.
has a rocket launcher, right? He's like a machine
yeah.
gun, and he has the BFG from Doom, right? Yeah.
Oh, actually,
I don't know.
but you know what? You're not crazy off
lying.
because, like, honestly, if like Nick could probably pull up some of the like the toy lines where they put the TMNTs into like every smash up crossover ever. There's like they're in space.
Oh my god!
And
Yeah, there was I had a Star Trek Donatello. He was doing this, which of course, being Ninja Turtle, he's only got 3 fingers, so he's basically just doing the equivalent of it. Anyway. Yeah, so
That's a good joke.
I'll be real. I didn't even think about looking at the toys because those don't tell stories. Those don't really tell a whole lot about the character. But
I found feats in toy descriptions before.
Yes,
oh, yeah.
That's when you know. That's when you're desperate.
Like, yeah, exactly. That's when you're reaching. On the pressure points thing, that's actually a pretty consistent and major thing with Splinter too. Again, going back to the 2012 cartoon. Splinter uses pressure points against various people, but including Shredder. And when he did it to Shredder, I'm assuming this was him not really holding back because it was kind of later in the series, and that's when things were just like really escalating. But he hit Shredder with like to basically nullify his arms and just wear him down so hard that Shredder was put on life support. And that was a major problem. Like he was out of commission. It's freaking
shit.
Shredder.
Is this did he do like the Gen thing where he's like da 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 like that, like the
kind of like that? He disabled each limb, I think, with just one hit, if I remember the clip I watched earlier correctly. As far as completely paralyzing, like all in one go, I wouldn't be surprised if that's happened. I don't think I necessarily made a note of that exact thing, but the point remains. This is another thing where Splinter and Shifu, it's just another eerie similarity they have, another thing that's very important to both their movesets that it's like I said earlier, I suspect this is possibly going to come down to speed. Who is faster? And even then that's kind of comparable.
Well, yeah, I mean, Keane just brought it up that like, you know,
there's a still frame of Splinter. So Shredder's back arm is already down. This is him nullifying his other arm.
Oh, this is the arc when
like
they return from space.
4?
This is season 4. Yeah.
Yeah.
Quick question.
This is actually.
What is the opinion on Krang being Shredder in the 2003 version? What is the opinion on that?
I didn't watch that cartoon, but I read about it. I thought that was a cool twist, honestly.
Okay.
Like, I mean,
I thought it was
the guy
cool.
who grew up with it, I thought it was really cool.
I didn't know that it wasn't supposed to be that, so I thought it was cool. Then I later found out that Shredder is like a guy, and I was like, "Oh, okay, that's okay, interesting. That's quite the departure."
And Nick and I age.
You want to feel even older? That show he's referencing is turning 20 years old next year.
Yeah.
Cool. So that's the one that was after our
2003.
time. It's 2 decades old now.
Also, I was looking up some Splinter toys, and like, dude, he's got like a ton of weapons, man. He's got like bow and arrow.
Yeah, and the toys they don't give a crap. I mean, he's had a bow and arrow in the movies before.
Yeah.
In the second movie, he shoots an arrow to free his turtle sons.
Yeah,
and then just immediately leaves them to
daggers.
Fight 2 super mutants.
There's also like this like smoking teapot thing that multiple different toys are doing. I don't know what that's about. Like,
does he just splash tea in your face?
I don't know. Maybe
like, scalds you.
See, I don't know what to make of any of these toys though. Like, I don't know how to quantify some of those.
Yeah.
Did you see that? This is a complete departure. But speaking of toys, did you see the fucking Final Fantasy VI statue? The $14,000 Final Fantasy VI statue that's Square Enix is selling.
I saw that.
Yo, speaking of toys, to keep going, but mine's a lot more relevant. I was my mom's never thrown anything away from my childhood, so we were up there recently, and I grabbed like a million action figures to just like give to my son and be like, enjoy. Like it was like a ton of it.
Of course,
he wasn't really into turtles, so I left it all there. But I did the impossible. I not only found my Shredder toy,
was he the
but
shirtless Shredder?
I found the cape. that went over it. They were not together, but I found it, and I was like, my God, I'm one of the few that probably doesn't only have the shirtless
You're the
Shredder.
chosen one.
I felt so proud. I was like, oh my God, it's here. It was in a totally different thing.
Finding the Dragon Balls. Like,
yes, Venusaurus, $14,000. Yes, Venusaurus.
That cape was made to
free
be
shipping.
lost.
To be lost.
Anyway,
what about durability?
So durability.
Yeah, we haven't talked about that yet.
Ken, you want to go first on this one? Actually, I feel like I've been hogging the conversation.
You have, Nick.
Yeah. Durability. I mean, I think for Shifu, the most direct thing we have for his durability is Tai Lung just beating the living hell out of him. Almost to death, but he made it. He survived, and then he got up and had some lunch with Poe. Scaling to Poe, he definitely gets a lot better stuff. We talked about how the Wushi Finger Hold, it like parts the clouds in Paws of Destiny.
Yes, the shockwave, I should specify, the shockwave of it blows. It does release a shockwave. It isn't just that.
Yeah, and that got pretty high. And I would scale Shifu to that since he has the Wushi Finger Hold himself. So that gets pretty high stuff. I don't want to get like too mathy on this.
Is it like megatons?
I think it was megatons.
It was 850 something megatons. I checked that before this episode.
Okay.
Before this podcast.
Wait, do you have a counter argument for 850 megatons?
I think I might, but I'm gonna hold off on that for just a second.
Oh, that's.
I wonder
that's
if you're
threatening.
Because I have ideas for what it could be.
Well, you're trying to guess what his
Dude, I came prepared. If we can do a little like peek behind the scenes, this was actually my idea because I just wanted to talk about this.
Yes.
I saw that episode recently where like Liam was on talking about the Chosen Undead. And I was like, dang, I need to get that treatment for one of my matches.
Dude, we did it just to shut him up. Like, I'm gonna be real. Like, or just like, if we just do it, will you stop bringing it up? And he's like,
no,
yes. And
I did not say yes, and that's not true. And I won't. Once season 10 discussions come along, it's Chatterbox right back at you.
Oh yeah, dude. I mean, that's why I'm trying to get this one built.
This is the one you want to do. But let's get to durability.
Let's get to durability. What's your argument, Nicholas?
Durability. Come on.
Right,
I love to hear what you have
don't
to say.
dance around this.
I've got two notable durability feats for Splinter.
Hit me.
Okay.
Stay with me, chat. Let's go to the 2012 cartoon. There was a point where Splinter and Shredder were fighting in the sewers, and they fall down a hole.
Oh, this is the one where like Shredder
really goddamn big hole.
This is the one where Shredder gets hit by like the beam, right?
It's not Shredder. Splinter gets hit by the beam. They both get hit by beams. Splinter gets hit by a bunch of beams after falling. And this is Donatello, the smart one's estimation of how deep the hole is.
He does machines.
He does machines. He does them, and the machines tell him that the hole, by his own estimation, I think was about 1,000 feet. Mm-hmm. Splinter and Shredder. It's like Shredder's trying not to fall. Splinter says, "No, Saki, we die together." And he grabs them, and they fall down this hole. And they're just beating each other up on the way down. Shredder is Super Shredder, by the way, enhanced durability, strength, everything Shredder. He's scraping Splinter down the stone column, and then Splinter, they separate. Shredder hits a steel beam. Splinter keeps falling. He hits steel beam, like 3 steel beams or whatever, and he's still conscious.
Like some Looney Tunes stuff.
Then he hits the bottom.
I remember that scene so vividly because I remember like this is something that like Nickelodeon is airing at like 10 a.m. on Saturday, and they just show like Splinter, like his foot is broken, and he like repositions it and then screams off like, "What? This is a Nickelodeon show. What are they doing?"
The 2012 show is great. Like it, as much as a Nickelodeon cartoon for kids was ever going to, it got like heavy and dark and emotional, and that's part of what makes it so good. It's also freaking hilarious.
A very strong argument here. Splinter could literally punch Shifu into a trash can. So
also,
I think
but
that's
Finn says
big important.
Shifu fell down a height much higher than 1,000 feet against the fight with Tai Lung.
That's okay because I have another feat, and this one is from a comic, so we can actually show it. So in the Archie comics, there's a character named War who you might remember if you played TMNT Tournament Fighters. There's that character that you had probably never seen before. He's in the Archie comics.
You know how much. You know we played some TMNT Tournament Fighters.
So, War kind of sort of directly hit Splinter with a nuclear warhead a little bit.
Wait, what?
I'm not kidding. Here's page 1. Nuclear warhead.
What are they
Page
dressed
2,
as?
Canuck.
Canuck.
And there's a page in between where it's right about to hit a little like wooden house or something like that.
Yeah.
Presumably that's where they are. And yeah, he's carrying Splinter on his back. He's unconscious. Like, but he's in one piece and he's
unconscious, but
not dead.
not
It's
dead,
like a
right?
War is his own thing, I think. A Triceratops is specifically an
thing.
alien Triceratops. So yeah, an actual nuke. Behold
Like
the dialogue saying it's a nuke. Behold the nuclear symbol. Behold all the countries' flags on there.
War.
That's a weird topic. We're not going to get into. And so I put that forward for. I'm pretty sure Splinter's best durability feat. I would also like to challenge the Wushi Finger Hold as a durability feat. Because as I understand it, yes, it has like 850 something megatons, which I looked this up. That is here. Actually, I still have the tab up. That's like 300 megatons more than all the nuclear testing as of 1996. So like all the nukes that had been created up until 1996, it's more than that.
Yeah, up until the day I was born.
If I'm understanding the Wushi Finger Hold correctly, that cannot count as a durability feat unless it is like the suicidal version of it. Poe did it to himself. It's Poe. He's surpassed Shifu at this point. He did it to himself and he died. He came back, but he died. So
Poe does it. But Poe does it in the first
Poe does it
movie,
to Tai Lung, and
he lives
because the attack was targeting him, right? Like the trees and stuff don't get blown to smithereens, do they? Are we going to say that the trees in Kung Fu Panda are nuclear?
In the original,
you know what I mean? Because it blows clouds
away.
In the original movie,
I accept that. It does create a pretty big shockwave.
But does it destroy the trees? Otherwise, if it doesn't, then either the trees are strong enough to withstand nukes, which goes against everything that we understand about trees and assume about trees, or
do you know
the attack was targeted specifically on the recipient.
Getting destroyed here.
And like I said, Poe, in order to take out whoever that bad guy was, had to take himself with it, and he did not survive.
Oh, sorry. No.
So
you
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kai.
Yeah. So if I'm misremembering Kung Fu Panda, I'm a little shaky on it. Forgive me. Then please correct me. But
could you remind me? I don't think I fully understand this.
Yeah,
are you saying that trees are nuke resistant?
Can we?
Wow.
We talk about the fact that Nick
Shut
felt
up, Ben.
like
I
he
know
came
the
out
cartoon
like
trees.
almost like he didn't really have
chat.
that great. He's like, oh, he fell down this hole, and then he just
was
like, oh, and then
all right.
also
This is the counter to
here's him surviving a nuke.
Yeah. Those are kind of my thoughts, and I think it'd be very much worthwhile to explore that because I think that's going to give a buttload of points to one or the other.
Hey, Ben's in the chat, and he says these are cartoon trees, Nick.
I know.
Damn,
I saw
Ben is
him
in the chat.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh, DJ, one of our other researchers, is also in the chat.
Oh, what's Tiki
bring up
saying?
Air Blast. We've already brought up the Air Blast.
So
Ian,
what do we make of the Wushi Finger Hold?
Yeah.
I've always thought of it as like a spiritual, like soul, like a soul level thing, like a key related, like.
Yeah, I mean there isn't too much like specificity about what exactly it is. But generally speaking, what was that?
It's a little vague. I mean, they're not going to go into extreme detail in this movie.
Yeah,
they have other things
that's
going
part
on.
of the point. That's part of the point is that it's supposed to be like this like mystical technique, which is why you don't even like find out what it is until the third movie, or that it sends them to the spirit realm. But no, I mean, generally speaking, if Poe is at the epicenter of the shockwave, then he should be able to withstand that strength himself, or the Am I wording that really? I think I
Yeah,
am.
No, it's
yeah.
fine.
I would also
but
add.
actually, you know what? I was reading a couple comments in the chat, and it really made making that argument that it's not a durability feat actually works in your favor, because if it isn't a durability feat, and it doesn't matter if Splinter can survive a nuke, because he's gonna get that finger hold and his soul's gonna get blasted into the next plane.
I mean,
But Splinter can fight in the astral realm as well.
I mean,
in Archie comics. So
I mean, the thing. Well, the spirit realm is kind of a. It's like its own like plane of existence. I mean, and it's also said in the Paws of Destiny cartoon that when you go to the spirit realm, you are considered dead. So by our rules, if Splinter has ended up there, he's gone.
That's right. It would count as a win for Shifu if he could send him there for sure. Unless Splinter had a way to like instantly open a portal.
Yeah, because Poe could come back. Poe, that's why it didn't count as a death, because he could instantly return.
Yeah. Also, on the subject of astral projection, because I know Splinter did that in the original movie, and then again in 2012. We don't see him actually fight. For all we know, that dude can just walk through walls and not touch anything.
He's like a force ghost.
Force. That's exactly what I was gonna say. If he can come back, but he still can't fight, and his body is still in that realm, I think he's out of the game.
Ben brings up the point that the spirit realm is not the astral realm.
True.
So,
what does that mean for the argument?
If Splinter can't come back from it immediately, it would count as a death.
Right. Okay. But he can't because they're different.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll also add. Okay. I'll add this because Ian was I think avoiding this argument that I think would benefit him. Would benefit his argument. Yeah, the trees don't get destroyed because often when you see attacks like these in fiction, the attack doesn't interact with anything that isn't plot relevant realistically. When Goku gets smashed into an island, the planet doesn't explode beneath him, even though any time after the Saiyan saga, it should do so casually. The apples in Green Forest, whatever, in Kirby, can bonk Kirby and kill him, even though they're just apples, and Kirby is a god of death. So I would say that like there is a degree of accepting that not everything is going to be treated realistically in fiction because it's fiction and it's not real.
Yeah,
we should count like what happens.
The way the shockwave works is that it's not like it's like a big bomb explosion. It's essentially just like a very, very strong force of wind. You see at the end of the first movie that like blows away Crane's hat, and that like all the animals, like their fur is running around. That's also why the clouds get parted and stuff like that. So it's not so much that the trees are like tanking it. Is if anything, it's that they wouldn't be getting like blown away by it.
Also, Ben's in the chat yelling "down with the rat." Ben is completely against you, Nick.
Yeah, you know what else? You know what kind of sucks is for some reason I'm not a member, so I can't type back. So
I can. What do you want me to say? No, I'm just kidding.
Just tell him no.
I feel like he could just say it.
No,
That's
Ben.
true. He could.
No.
But there you go. Down to the chat.
I told him.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what. These are all interesting points. Chat, I hope you guys are thinking it over, and the way you're going to vote, we're going to get a pull up here pretty soon. But we do have a sneak peek.
Ooh.
Show you guys.
Oh my god.
Of the next episode.
Whoa.
So without any more ado, let's see what's going on.
Without any more ado.
Nope, you're supposed to play the what's going on. Cody, come on, give me the doors.
And now because of that, we can't show you the preview, guys.
Oh yeah, give me the doors, or give me the doors.
Nope, we got it wrong. So,
all right. So what's going on?
Canceled. What's going on?
There we go.
Okay, well, almost.
What's going on is that this episode.
Yeah, we got it.
There we go.
Sponsors are gonna love this. What's going on is the fact that this episode is. Hey everyone, I'd like to take a moment to let you know that this episode is sponsored by Blue Chew. Feeling confident can take you far in life, especially when it's time to step up to the plate. And that's where Blue Chew comes in. Blue Chew is a unique online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, but as a chewable tablet and at a fraction of the cost. The process is simple. Sign up at bluechew.com, consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, you'll receive your prescription within days. And it's all done online, so no awkward doctor's visits or awkward conversations, and no going into the pharmacy. It's super easy and super discreet. So, if you could benefit from some extra confidence when it's time to perform, Blue Chew can help. And we've got a special deal for all of our Death Battle Cast listeners and viewers. Try Blue Chew free when you use our promo code DBC at checkout. Just pay $5 shipping. That's bluechew.com, promo code DBC to receive your first month free, totally free. Visit bluechew.com for more details and important safety information. And we thank Blue Chew for sponsoring the podcast. Thanks, Blue Chew. And that's what's going on, Cody. There he goes. I gave him. Oh God, he just hammering in. Okay, we're good. All right, we won't delay anymore.
Friggin' preview.
Shout out to Blue Chew. In addition to you guys becoming like members or first members and watching the show and supporting us, sponsors like that help us be able to keep doing what we do, and we really appreciate them. So here you go. Let's go. Just play the sneak peek.
Do it.
You have my permission.
Kidding.
Oh there, mighty warrior. What business havest thou upon earth?
Throw that hammer at me again, and my business will be polishing my gloves upon your face!
Didst that count? Yield, damnable cur! Thou fightst well for a mortal. Alas, you face a god.
I have evolved beyond gods.
Oh,
There we have it.
Oh, so
There
good.
we have it. And of course,
Nice.
as you heard, we got Jonas Scott as Thor. We got Lanny Pator as Vegeta of Team 4-Star fame. How could we not?
Yeah, immediately the chat's just like lyrics. Oh, the track. Go for it, Liam. Go for it. You've been wanting to talk about this for so long.
Yeah, I mean, I was like, I want Viking rock. I sent Brandon the Tusk theme from Killer Instinct. I just went like full like 10,000 cigarette packs, full-throated Viking roar, metal rock, and he took it, and I think it's my favorite Brandon Yates stream.
I remember you, me, and Ben were in a call for an episode that's coming up, and you're like, guys, Brandon just sent me the track. Oh my god.
It's bonkers, and it's so good.
On a Death Battle Cast a few weeks ago, Liam referenced that like probably his favorite thing that Brandon's ever done was coming up, and this is what he was talking about.
Yeah.
And he hyped it up so much, I was like, dude, send it to me. So he slacked it to me afterwards after the show, and I was just like, oh hell yeah.
It is.
It's pretty rad.
I also would just like to say major props to Luis, because I remember he sent that animation, and we were all like, oh my god, is this even like sprites anymore with those effects and that background? Oh my god,
crazy. We did the commentary for it earlier this week, which was my first time seeing the fight, and oh my god, like the environment is so massive it kept crashing.
Yes, it's the biggest one I think we've ever had,
and they added so many effects. Like Luis was like using it to test out a bunch of stuff, and it's gorgeous. It's such a cool fight.
It's so good.
Yeah,
can't wait to see the full product.
We're really looking
just
forward
a couple
to you
more
guys
days,
checking it out.
right?
Coming up soon.
This Sunday for
super exciting
first members, and Monday
for YouTube.
For YouTube.
Yeah, but if you guys want to watch that preview over and over and over again, it will be up on the membership page for our champions soon. And I'll also play it at the end of the show again, so you can relive it, or in case you just tuned in and were like, wait, did I miss the preview? No! But now it is time to finish our community death battle.
I was really hoping you'd play
I thought he was going to play the What's Going On intro.
Yeah.
Well, now he is. And
Yeah,
three,
nice. I spoke the words.
Nice.
one.
No, I'm a good
Yeah,
person.
he's
Well,
a good person. He's a good person.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
no, I'm just kidding. I love
So
Furry.
can we? I think just in fairness to fully explore this like astral stuff with Splinter. First of all, do you guys think that's? I think that's worth going into a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, there's some stuff from the '80s cartoon as well. Leonardo at one point states that Splinter. He's like, Splinter, why don't you just use your ninja mind control on this guy? And he's like, I can't because it won't work on people whose mental abilities are greater than my own. I have no idea who they were fighting. I have no clue. But I think one way to gauge where Splinter's mental abilities are is when you consider that in various iterations, he's been able to break free of mind control. That's something that just like in fiction in general, typically you can only really do that if you have extreme mental fortitude. Has Shifu been able to break out of mind control or anything like that? Or how would you quantify?
Shifu's
as best you can
canonically
his
like
mental
really
abilities?
dumb, right? I'm just
No,
kidding. That's
no.
a lie.
That's a little bit of a tricky one because we actually have seen Shifu fall susceptible to it in the past, but since then he's gotten more proficient with Chi, which we've seen it grant Poe resistance to that stuff. So that can be a bit up in the air. It'd probably require a bit more delving into to get a real concrete answer.
Sure.
But it's also, I mean, is that really something that Splinter typically pulls out of his bag of tricks? I've definitely never seen him do that.
There isn't really much that's typical with Splinter, just because across versions he varies so much. There are some things that stay more or less the same. But like the nuke thing, I'm pretty sure is only in the Archie comics, for example.
Yeah, that is. I do remember
the Hamato Ninpo
when,
is only going to be in Rise of the TMNT, stuff like that.
Yeah,
I'm just
I
trying
do
to be as thorough
remember
with
when
Splinter as I can be.
we were researching Leonardo. That was definitely a big thing. Is that like there's so many versions that like vary so differently, but you also can't really do just one. Yeah, it's very tricky. Actually, when this is cast, so I know rules are a bit looser. But when we get to the actual episode, one of the biggest things we'll have to discuss is this going to be human Splinter or actual rat Splinter? Because there's arguments for both.
I mean, I think you can take feats from human Splinter, but when people think of Splinter, they think of the rat, and also because the rat and Hamato Yoshi are not always the same character. Like in the original comics,
because they're both animals.
In the original
and
comics,
even the rat was
movie,
like shadow boxing training, like to learn how to do.
Which
I mean,
is so
it's just
goofy.
weird because like if you do like it's hard to like do both of them at the same time because like here's Hamato Yoshi, he became Splinter and was trained by Hamato Yoshi. You know what I mean? That's a little tricky to do.
That's a good point.
Good point.
I always liked it better when Hamato Yoshi and Splinter were the same person anyway. But just really quickly, just to kind of give another idea of where like Splinter's like psychic powers or like mental abilities, whatever his fortitude goes. In various media, he's been able to like, for example, track down Leonardo. I assume kind of sort of in the same way like what Professor X does with mutants. You can kind of see that in the 1990 movie.
Chad is not
in the 80s cartoon.
Sorry, that was a bit of a leap. You can't like literally. You just compared him to one of the most powerful mutants in all of Marvel.
I'm not,
like what?
I'm not saying he's like that. I'm saying he did this one thing, vaguely, kind of, sort of, in a similar sort of method that Professor X does. But just to find one person, he's not on the same level. I'm not saying.
So you remember, Splinter now has Cerebro. So we're gonna.
Splinter also has some like vague ability to like have premonitions, so he can kind of sense danger oncoming. It's
reality
really vague
too, right? He can like.
Like
like
he
the
got
Gold
the
Experience,
reality stone
Requiem.
in
He had,
Thanos.
all 7 Dragon Balls.
Do we want to look at? Do we want to look at some answers? Some community.
I'm down.
I think maybe we
I
could
was
use some
going
guidance.
to in about another minute, but sure we can do it now.
Yeah.
Nick, you're officially the co-pilot because Liam's stepping on my show. No, I'm just kidding. All right, sure. Yeah, let's do that. Let's see what the community has to offer up for this argument, because I can tell you, I got the poll up in the chat, and
I got so much more I need to say about
pretty
Splinter.
close.
It's tight.
I've got so much more I need to say.
Well, we don't have a lot left,
All right.
so let's get the first one
I'm
for the
willing to
community
talk.
answers. All right, this one comes from the Koopa Kirby. I think Splinter should be able to do this. Shifu's biggest advantage is coming from a more fantastical world. He does know the Wushi Finger Hold, but he was also knocked out by a cannonball. Splinter can dodge and parry machine gun fire. He's punched through solid steel and can use pressure points to knock out enemies instantly. There may be no accidents, but Splinter wins any hand to Hamato combat.
It's combust.
Yeah, I was being nice.
That's a great point. Shifu knocked out by a cannonball.
Mhm.
Wall level Shifu.
I mean, okay, no.
Wall level Shifu.
I mean, that's also a cannonball that like tore through like a dozen ships before it hit him.
Which is more than the
Walls
Wushi
level
Finger Hold
Shifu.
did to the trees. You know what I'm saying?
But I mean, if we're going on
That's
this
what I'm
route,
saying.
I
This is
mean,
brutal.
if we're
Yeah,
going
like what
on
was the
this route-
velocity that cannonball had to have been traveling? 'Cause, like,
Like 1-2 miles per hour, I think. At least.
I mean, if we're going on this route, I mean, Splinter. Actually, you know what? That sounds stupid when I say it out loud. Never mind.
All right, well, let's get the other one. This might
Can
spark
I
something
read this
for
one,
you.
Chad?
All right.
I want to read
Yeah,
one.
you can read it, buddy.
Okay. This is from Gelaton Man. Okay. I think
Gelatin,
what's
maybe?
really the deciding factor here is the Wushi Finger Hold. I don't think Splinter has any way to avoid or reverse the effect of the finger hold. So, I gotta say Shifu. Shifu's no kung fool, and will leave Splinter like a rat out of hell.
God, I appreciate the puns.
I feel like that's a reference.
Really
that I get.
stretching the second one.
It's a bit, yeah. The second one was a bit was both.
stretching, but I appreciate
Both.
it.
You know, you gotta go. You gotta
take all the
go
shots.
home or go. Don't do that again.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. So the Wushi Finger Hold feels like a big sticking point for this one, right? Like
Yeah.
all Shifu needs to do is just get him, and he's got him, and it's over.
That exactly. That's my biggest thing about this is like if they're similar speed, then like again, even though Splinter survived a nuke, I don't think it's on the same level because like it would just go for his.
I mean, the
like,
Wushi
soul.
Finger Hold specifically is supposed to be like a bypass for that stuff. Like that's the whole thing with Kai is that Poe isn't actually strong enough to take him down, so he has to use the finger hold to do it.
Exactly.
I mean,
Good point.
obviously it doesn't work, but that's for different reasons than they were expecting.
I understand. Like the Wushi Finger Hold, that's really, really debatable to say the absolute least. As far as like what that would do to Splinter. It's assuming Splinter, survives a nuclear missile, and stuff like that. But I think in order to land the Wushi Finger Hold, I don't think that's necessarily as much of a given as people seem to say. Because like you have to.
I mean, I think
touch him.
We
but
weren't
Splinter's got experience like crazy in the 2003 cartoon and in the IDW comics. Maybe not the IDW. I forget which comic series, but either way, in the 2003 cartoon, he twice won the Battle Nexus, which is a multiversal tournament. He won it once as a human in 1986 and 2001 as a rat. And then
That's pretty awesome.
Michelangelo won.
I mean, in the 2000
that was on
in
a
the 2000
technicality.
cartoon, Hamato Yoshi and Splinter are different people. So Splinter only won it once.
Oh no, he only won the multiversal tournament once. Thank you for the correction, though.
Yes, Kia, what were you gonna say?
I forgot that they were different characters in that one.
What I was gonna say. I mean, okay, so like we have this pretty clear, like the Wushi Finger Hold is like surefire way for Shifu to win. What's like Splinter's best option for taking Shifu out? Because he doesn't have something on that level, which is why it's like such a big deal.
I mean, pressure points that incapacitated the Shredder, four-finger thing that sends him through a concrete wall at Mach speed.
He'd survive.
He scales to Shredder, and Shredder, as we determined in Shredder vs. Silver Samurai, can attack faster than the eye can see. And that, by the way, is an even more consistent thing in Rise of the TMNT, when everybody is moving faster.
Shifu has also moved faster than the eye can see. In his
when
first
he's
scene
eating
in Kung Fu
the
Panda
eggs
2.
or whatever, or
in the first scene of Kung Fu Panda 2, he's like talking to Poe at this river or pond, and like he'll be talking, and then it like the shots change, and he's in a different position, and Poe's all like, "What? Where'd he go?" So clearly Poe wasn't able to see him actually move.
But Poe is still in training, right?
Also, Ben says in the chat, if Poe could land it on Tai Lung, who has decades of more training than him, then Shifu can land it on Splinter. Ben really wants you to
Ben is compromised.
He's on the right side of history.
Well, here's one other thing I wanted to bring up in Rise of the TMNT.
This is so close.
I'm not kidding when I say that everybody moves faster than the eye can see. The four turtles and April O'Neil, by the way, when they're fighting Shredder, they like it's a wide shot. You see all five of them standing off against Shredder, and then they're just like gone, like a puff of smoke, basically. And you see Shredder. It cuts to Shredder's eyes, and they're darting all over the place. He's visually keeping track with all of them. And this is the kind of world that Splinter inhabits. He's fought Shredder, and I want to say I can't remember.
So you're saying you just said that they can move as fast as the eyes can see because Shredder was tracking them.
Shredder fights at that speed too.
Nick, you're flailing.
Faster than the regular human eye can see. This is the same Shredder.
That version of Shredder is also like a super demon or something like that. So he might be a little bit faster because the whole
version of Shredder
the eye can see is it's based off of our perception as humans rather than like a super demon.
Yeah, but what about rat vision, huh? Have we looked into that?
This version of Shredder in Rise of the TMNT, he chopped skyscrapers in half without even touching them. He swung his fist like a backhand or something like that, and a whole like row of buildings just split in two. He also was able to shred through.
Are we going to stop it here? I could keep going.
Running low on time,
rats are colorblind and their eyesight is generally poor. It's one of the reasons they're typically nocturnal.
Yeah, but it is also a mutant rat. Okay, I think we need to, Chad. I think we need to just wrap this. Whatever.
We got. We need
to come up
wrap
with
this.
Any final things to say?
Final arguments. Closing.
Thank you,
no,
Luis.
I feel like I've said pretty much everything that I want to say.
No, I think I'm good. Nothing else to say. Okay, you're giving up an opportunity to sway the chat, once voting.
I feel like I've said my piece. I feel like
okay.
If I'm wrong, I will bow my head.
Okay.
All right, but you're going with you're banking it on the belief in the finger hold.
The Wushi Finger Hold. Yeah.
All right, Nick. Any last words?
I have so many notes on Splinter. I'm sure I've forgotten something that would make my argument look stronger.
Wow, you guys both really suck at your finishing arguments. I just want to say that.
Yep. No, but Splinter, like, pick a version of him. It's going to take more than I think the Shifu can typically dish out to knock him out. Short of perhaps the Wushi Finger Hold. That is kind of the crux of what determines the victor of this. I still stand by that the interpretation that it perhaps hits with the force of a nuke if he can manage to grab Splinter. I don't think he can. I think Splinter is too experienced and too fast to fall for that. And also with his like psychic ability to detect oncoming danger, I think he would probably know something is very weird about what's about to happen. I need to get out of the way. And that's what Chad, I think would happen.
He's in a fight. Something dangerous might happen. Yes.
Right, but I mean like something he's not familiar with.
Yeah.
All right.
Like
well, I've ended the poll and we'll get to that soon.
Okay.
Man, I am so back and forth because I feel like if we really dove into this in an actual episode, we'd find some crazy Splinter stuff, some even crazier stuff than Nick has brought up. But
point
based
blank
on
nuke to the face.
Right, but based on the argument, I do think that the Wushi Finger Hold like completely negates Splinter's durability, and I do think Shifu would be able to land it on Splinter, and I didn't hear a way that Splinter could come back like immediately. So I'm gonna go with Shifu on this one. I'm sorry, Nick. I'm not being Ben. I'm not trying to like troll you, but I'm gonna go.
Hey,
Shifu.
respect.
Yeah.
I'm gonna quote our G1 prediction blog here from Shredder versus Silver Samurai, which I pulled up during this because I remembered something. This is argument for Shredder Speed. Can fight all 4 turtles at once, who can fighter pilot the Krang stealth ships in real time at full speed. One stealth ship went from the ground to the halfway point between the Earth and the Moon in 42 seconds, as stated by the resident Brainiac Donatello. That's 4,576,190.5 meters per second, or 1.5% the speed of light, meaning Shredder has at least sub-relativistic reaction speed, faster than what we said for Shifu, could dodge the Wushi Finger Hold. My vote goes to Splinter.
I missed that one.
Because I wanted to even it up.
Thank you, Liam.
Okay.
Don't thank me.
I mean, that's pretty insane.
Just Venmo me.
Are you sticking with your with Shifu, chat?
I'm. It's already locked in, man.
It's already locked in.
All right.
All right.
And as we know,
okay. So we've got one vote for Shifu, one vote for Splinter. Let's go ahead and pull up the YouTube poll that Cody has, and then I'll announce the live chat poll.
Hey.
Oh, that's another one for Shifu by a significant margin.
Divided than I imagined.
Yes. And here's the thing.
That's interesting.
The live chat poll was so close.
So close. I was watching.
That it was, in fact, so close that the math will not add up when I ended the poll. Because I ended the poll at Shifu with 50% and Splinter with 49%.
Isaiah De Leon in the chat says Ben is the 1%.
Yeah, great. Well, okay, looks like Shifu wins this, but that was super cool. This would be a cool episode to do.
Yeah, I would love to do this.
Oh yeah,
Right after Chosen Undead versus Last Dragon.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, look at how happy Keen is. Look at this. His first time on, wins the debate, takes out the veteran Nick.
Everyone wants to see one of my most wanted episodes now. I'm building up the hype. Come on.
That was really close. That was very interesting.
It was fun.
All right, well, Kian, thank you so much for joining us.
No problem. Thank you very much for having me. I'll have to do this again sometime. This is great fun.
It will never happen
Jesus
again.
Christ.
Cody. So cruel. Hey, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you guys had a fun time on the show today. If you guys are members, extra thank you. Save it first members or champions. We love you guys both. Thank you. Appreciate it. And we will see you guys in the next one. Don't forget, coming soon for members is the preview that we showed off. We're going to play it one more time right as we end here. So you can listen to that sweet, sweet Viking rock and relive the fun. Our team did a really good job. I'm very proud of them, and I'm really blown away by how far the show has come.
Hashtag nuke level trees.
Hashtag nuke level trees. Thanks, guys. We got the episode drop in here this Sunday and Monday, so we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.
Oh there, mighty warrior. What business havest thou upon earth?
Throw that hammer at me again, and my business will be polishing my gloves upon your face!
Didst that count? Damnable cur! Thou fight'st well for a mortal. Alas, you face a god!
I have evolved beyond gods.